And you're on 88.3 Southern FM with The Dose, with Stef and...
Well, you got Mick back.
Mick's back,
yes.
Indeed.
I missed out on one show and you replaced me with Andy Maraudis.
Oh, well, he just happened to be passing by, you know, so we thought we'd make good use... Well, I thought I'd make good use of him.
Yes.
So, and he was a worthy stand-in, but, you know, there was something missing. There was some... I can't quite place my beard on it.
Yes, no, it was because you were missing an awesome beard. I'm going the Viking.
I was missing my favourite Viking. That's correct. So welcome back. How was your week off in the sun?
Yes,
in sunny Collingwood.
Oh, I wish it was. I wish it was in the sun. I'm in Melbourne, so obviously we do not have sun. We have rain, with some rain, and also just to change things up a bit, windy rain. Right.
Yes. So tell the good folks what you got up to. What was your gig?
Yes, I was on Melbourne International Comedy Festival show called Never Date a Comedian. I was one of the contestants, where 3 comedians all vied for the affection of one audience member.
Right, or one audience member. So, I mean... I guess it's like a perfect match type of thing.
Exactly, yes.
Right.
And it was
for those who remember that, I mean, it's going back to the 80s. I don't think they even had it in the 90s.
Yeah, they didn't actually have a robot either.
No.
I know, that was one thing I thought, man, if there's a robot and stuff, that would be awesome. I'd, see one up close, but no robot.
No robot. I did go to a... you remember Russell Gilbert when he used to have... He had a show on for a while on Channel 9.
Yes.
And I remember back in my uni days, we heard that Russell Gilbert was filming the pilot for his show.
Okay.
And he had a robot for that.
Oh.
I don't know if it made it into the main show, because I don't remember watching the main show once it got on air. But anyway, so we got tickets to the recording for the pilot. And when we came in, Gilbo's out there in the audience doing the crowd raising, and he's going, it's going to I really need this show to work, so it's the pilot, and the Packers are going to watch this tomorrow, Kerry and his son, I forget his son's name, James. And because I was running Channel 9 back then, and so about 8 of us from uni, and we were just yelling and going, yeah, woohoo, going absolutely berserk. It got to the point where they're actually telling us to shut up.
There you go.
But he had this weird talking robot, and it was like Dexter, but just worse.
Yes.
And anyway, so we once we were out in the car park, we were this is the Bendigo Street, Richmond Channel 9 car park, back in the old days.
Nice.
And we're walking back to our cars after the recording, and we see the bloke who's brought the robot in is this it's like the traditional sort of boffin type guy in the lab coat and everything, and he's packing this weird ass robot back into his car, and Gilbo's out there talking to him, and we're like, tell him to get rid of the bloody robot. Gilbo's like, yeah, get out of here.
Oh wow, so they actually got rid of the robot after that? Was it?
I think they brought it back a little bit, but I think it was a more reduced role the robot had.
Yeah,
so
kind of like Jar Jar Binks in Star Wars.
Yeah, something like that.
Did I just went totally nerd then, man?
A little. That's
Misa, hate myself.
All right. Oh, now we're
yeah.
All right. You're with the Dose. To explain, this is our third show. Our punters may not as we're gathering pace, and you may not have listened to this show beforehand. The Dose is your weekly dose of weird news, obscure sports, things that annoy you, and weird things that we find for sale online. And just general mayhem. So it's with Stef and Mick, and we're going to go to a song to warm your ears up.
Now, before we do go into that song, I do have to point out to you beautiful listeners, I had no choice in the music choice this week, so this is all Stef. So if you hate the music choice, please. We will be establishing a fart book page. Yes.
Facebook, and do look us up on FBook. That sounds horrible.
Yes. Just call it Facebook.
Facebook, all right.
The Fub.
Do look us up on Facebook after this, and please give us your feedback there if you don't like the music, or if you do like the music, I'd love to hear about it, and then I can turn around to Mick and go, ha, see, I told you.
Yes, but we're also going to get an Insta page going as well.
Insta? All right, I'll leave you in charge of that, because I still don't know how to play with Insta.
That's all right. Well, you get banned from it enough times, you figure it out pretty quick.
Right. Is it like being banned from trivia? Because I can talk about that later.
Yes.
Okay. All right, here we go with Stray Cats, with Stray Cat Strut.
From Sandringham to South Yarra, you're listening to 88.3 Southern FM.
Yes.
You're with Mick and Stef on the dose.
Yes. And I don't know, man. That had a very kind of New Orleans feel to it.
Does
know
a
what I
bit,
mean?
you know.
Yeah.
Bit of a band sitting there with the brushes and they use on the drums.
Yes. Yeah, the snares.
The snares. That's
Yeah.
right.
Who is it that we just heard?
Stray Cats.
Stray Cats. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
I'll put them on my never to listen to again list. All right, because I'm not into voodoo anymore. So yes.
All right, no worries then. The dose is here to bring you some odd news. So in this week's news, we've got now. I must say, I want to preface this. Some bad news has been around town in the last few days, and I guess we'd just like to. I mean, I personally like to put a word out there to those who are. Unfortunately, it looks like. Without going into too much detail, you've all heard about the incident in Bondi. There's been an incident in a church, and then even today there was an incident in a shopping centre here in Melbourne, all involving people with pointy weapons. And I say to those overwhelmingly young males who seem to be engaging in this sort of behaviour, if you're that sad and you need some help, reach out, speak to your friends. Mick, you're very good at sort of promoting this sort of awareness. I don't want to go too far into the detail, as I'm sure everyone's read the news and so forth. But engaging in that sort of violent behaviour with weapons, that's gutless. It is gutless. It's unmanly. It's unbecoming of either gender, manly or feminine. It's just put it away.
Yeah.
So
and just to reiterate what Stef was talking about as well, guys. The dark thoughts will always be there, but they can always be calmed. You reach out to friends, reach out to family, reach out to those close to you. Help is available, all right? I'm going to basically say it's okay to not be okay. We all have those moments.
You all have bad days.
And, don't ever be afraid to reach out. All right,
Please do.
It's basically there is nothing wrong with asking for help. All right, that's the biggest problem that actually plagues a lot of people nowadays. Is everyone just wants to try and do their battles by themselves? Don't do that. You are never alone. Anyone that says you have to be alone, they don't know what they're talking about. All right, reach out because it'll always be there.
And don't listen to the social media crazies who go on about toxic masculinity and toxic this and toxic that. I mean, at the end of the day, if you're doing right by everyone around you and the others in the world, then you're on the right path. And you know when you're doing wrong by others. And so, yeah, reach out. Anyway, we'll get on with it. But, we would do a moment's silence, but unfortunately, if we do a moment's silence on our on this radio station, it means that things kick in because it thinks that there's something has gone wrong. So we'll just send our positive thoughts out to those who've been affected by these tragedies, and that's all we can do.
It's well said, man. That is actually really well said.
Thank you.
And
all right, weird news. So the dose does bring you the strive. We search the dark corners of the interwebs, not for dark stuff, for weird stuff. So this week I've come across this one in Boston Airport. In recent weeks, a traveller was found with mummified monkey remains in their bags.
What?
So, do you watch the border security on the telly occasionally? I think they don't do it so often now.
I have seen it from time to time. Yes, yeah.
And it's usually we'll call people from a Southeast Asian background who usually bringing along 6 suitcases full of
octopus
octopus and fish salad and whatnot, which is fair enough. You're going to consume that. I mean, may not be everyone's taste, but at least they're going to put this away at a family gathering.
Yeah.
This guy is caught with mummified monkey remains.
Yes.
What on earth are you going to do with those?
Beef jerky? I'm not too sure. Yeah.
You should have seen these things. There was a photo, but I haven't got it here with me in the studio. So I'll just read it out to you. The traveller at Boston Logan International Airport said the bag contained dried fish. When they threw it through the examination, the airport agents discovered it was in fact mummified remains, including heads belonging to 4 monkeys. US Customs and Border Protection stated. The incident took place on a Thursday at a security screening for passengers. A canine officer, I like how they refer to him as a canine officer, named Buddy, sniffed out the dead, dehydrated monkeys from inside the luggage. I tell you what, I mean, if you turn around to border security and think you're going to get away with saying, "Oh, don't worry, I've just got some dehydrated fish in the bag," of course they're going to scan it.
Do you think, though, it could actually have something to do with the connotation of some kind of voodoo? Because you did just play that New Orleans music before. I'm thinking that are we touching on the subject of that? It could be for voodoo purposes, because there is that actual ritual that you play that you actually do get something like the shrunken heads. And if you do the head and you have a lock of their hair, not that I know this.
You seem to have a great deal of knowledge about it.
Maybe from time to time I dabble in the dark arts. No, I'm joking. But yeah, if you do, you can actually put the curse on them and use it as a kind of voodoo thing. So maybe that's what it is. Maybe that person's like got, how many was it? 4?
4.
All right.
One dehydrated monkey wasn't enough. And maybe it was a special, like when you go to 7-Eleven, you get a 6-pack of something. So 4 monkeys for the price of one.
Maybe he was actually doing it, though, because, like, for instance, he was trying to put a curse on, say, for instance, what's a 4-piece band? Nickelback. In which case, Border Security should not have stopped him.
You think he's trying to put some bad juju on the Nickelbacks?
Yeah, that's it. It's
dear.
Look at this monkey head. Every time I see it makes me sad.
I was just thinking back to some of my encounters with airport security, and I think my favourite was this is going back to my day job, and my day job actually sent me overseas and it was probably only my second time overseas for a big trip, and they sent me to Taiwan for a couple of weeks. And they put me up at a very nice hotel, a West Inn, so like we're talking 5 stars. Nice. And 5 stars in Asia is like 7 stars in Australia because they know customer service.
Oh, really?
Australians, we're miles behind Asian customer service. I got to say, at least at that time. This is going back quite a number of years ago. Anyways, first time overseas, and they give me. I was just so pampered. And each morning I'd find this newspaper in a tube of cellophane out the front of my door every morning, and I'd read the newspaper and I'd throw the cellophane over in the corner, and then I found a use for the cellophane because every day they'd give me loads and loads of these little shampoos. And I thought they were very, very nifty, and I'll throw, and they're all in these little spherical type containers, and I throw them in the tubes of cellophane. So by the end of my trip, I had about 3 or 4 tubes of these cellophanes, all filled with these little soaps. And I don't know what I'm going to do with them. Maybe they'll be good for when I go on little trips around the state. Road trips, yeah. So I threw them in the bottom of the suitcase and forgot about them. I come into Melbourne. Anything to declare? Nothing to declare. They look at me thinking, oh yeah, young chap, says he's got nothing to declare. He's just come from Southeast Asia. Scan him.
Yeah.
So they put my bag through the scanner. Now, have you ever seen that movie, The Rock?
Yes.
Okay. With Nicolas Cage and Sean Connery.
Yes.
And Nicolas Cage is playing the character of a chemical specialist. And and there's that point in the movie where he's disassembling the chemical weapon that the terrorists are going to fire on the city of, I think, San Francisco. And
I forgot Sean Connery.
That's right. The Rock.
Welcome to The Rock.
That's
I'm
right.
Sean Connery.
That's
Bond.
It. And as Nick Cage is pulling the weapon apart, and he pulls the internals, and you see this string of spherical, glass balls with the horrible chemicals inside. Well, anyway, when they put my bag through the scanner, that's what those little cellophane things at the bottom of my bag look like on the scanner tube.
Okay, so it wasn't drugs that they thought you had, it was chemical warfare.
It looked like the chemical warfare that Nick Cage was disarming. And geez, they just went burko. They're like, they couldn't figure, they thought it was drugs. I don't know what, maybe it was drugs, who knows. But they quickly ripped open my bag without me. Normally, when you see the border security on the telly, they're like, can we look in your bag, sir? Yes. Can you open your bag for us? These guys didn't wait for permission. They were in there. They're like dogs after a bacon.
And you're like, I'm sorry, it's just a Pantene protein pack to get more volume for my hair.
The look on their faces when they pulled out these bags of soaps.
Oh, wow.
And I just looked at them and said, first time traveller. And they're like, just go.
Just go. That was awesome, man. I really wish I was there to see that as well. Mish money, Prano.
All right. What else we got in the news? I think we've got hippos. Hippos are escaping.
What?
Hippos. So residents, you think you got problems in your street, mate? The odd stray cat. Well, we got stray cats on the radio as well, but maybe a stray dog, maybe a possum on your roof. No,
I got bats.
You got bats?
I got bats, and they scare me. It's up this fruit tree, and every time I walk past the fruit tree, it just goes that.
I went for a romantic picnic under a tree in Melbourne once. Never again, because bats like to hang out there, and bats let go of certain fluids whilst they're...
guano, yep.
Yeah, guano. That's a nice way of saying nasty stuff, anyway.
Yes.
So, okay, so we're dealing with bats, we're dealing with possums, we're dealing with dogs and cats, but the residents in the suburb of Cape Town, South Africa, deal with hippos. This suburb called Grassy Park had to deal with a hippo that broke through a fence from the nearby nature reserve and went wandering through the residential streets just after midnight on one Saturday recently. I think it was just over the weekend. A resident quoted as saying, "My 74-year-old mother watched from inside the house very scared as the hippo came straight for our door. Police were standing outside the yard." What are the police going to do? Like pull over?
Yeah. Are you hungry, hippo?
You're an illegal hippo.
Yes.
Just imagine the police trying to herd a hippo back to the nature reserve.
That's the thing that I did actually hear, though, and this is something that's quite interesting. They are more responsible for more deaths in Africa than, for instance, crocodiles or lions or tigers and stuff like that.
Why would you go swimming with hippos? Because obviously you have to get close enough to them for them to, they'll
hurt
you.
They'll attack fishing boats and all that stuff. They're very, very aggressive.
Right. So, I mean, you can just be moseying down doing your daily fish and then that's it.
And they are hungry hippos. Did I mention that?
You did.
Yeah.
I think you've been waiting for this. So.
Oh, man, I've been waiting for this one.
One of your favourite childhood games?
Yes.
All right.
What childhood? I still play it.
I like this. The assessment from the police the nature reserve will have to put up stronger fencing.
Yes.
That's
because those hippos obviously are hungry.
Obviously brought in a detective for that assessment.
Yeah.
So local officials reckon the hippo's escape might have been due to a altercation with another hippo, and was fleeing for its own safety.
Yeah. That's the thing. In the Hungry Hippos game, you actually have 4 of them in that, you know what I mean? You kind of fight each other to feed the hippo the best.
Oh,
so that's what could have happened, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Could have. All right. In other news, there is a project afoot to save an island off the coast of Florida.
Okay, cool.
None other than Beer Can Island, this is called. And they're offering partial ownership for $1,000.
Oh.
So I'm intrigued. Anything that's called Beer Can Island, I want to be a part of. So let's get into this. I haven't even read this article yet, so let's have a quick look. Yeah. Small Florida Key island known as Beer Can Island, due to the results of the many parties thrown on its beaches, is for sale. And one prospective buyer is looking for partners to go in at $1,000 apiece.
Yeah.
It's a 9-acre island, so 9 acres, it's sizable. It's about
sizable.
It's about the size of a small suburb.
Yeah.
It's known as Pine Key. It's official name, I guess. So Beer Can Islands, obviously, it's a local name.
Yeah.
It's located near an Air Force base. Now I'm starting to understand why it's a Beer Can Island. It's the military types escaping for a bit of a shindig.
So yes, sir. Yep.
And it was created, so it's a man-made island, created in the 1940s as a result of dredging and relocating sand and other materials. So the island was planted with Australian pine trees. So it's got a bit of an Aussie connection.
Yeah.
I didn't think we had pine trees native to Australia. I thought we had pine trees are imported, but I'm not a botanist, so
no,
I could be wrong. So Russell Loomis and 3 friends purchased the island in 2017, cleared what he described as 300 or 400 bags worth of trash from the island. I guess that's where all the beer cans came in.
Mm-hmm.
And they've installed attractions, including a giant slide, portable dunnies, tiki bars to attract visitors, as if they had trouble attracting beer can enthusiasts.
Yeah.
And it's successful, but the owners want to close the island because of the long work hours, and so they're going to sell it. So they're whinging about the amount of hours it takes them to run it. So they're talking about getting some people into it. So it was listed for $14 million. So one prospective buyer, Nick Lipidarov, has announced Save Beer Can Island, and he's selling a stake for $1,000 each to other punters. That's going to be a lot of punters for $1,000 each for $14 million.
Yeah, what's that like? 14 punters? I don't know.
Can you imagine?
Really failed maths,
14 million multiplied or divided by 1,000? It's a lot. It's a lot. We're talking about 1,400. No, it'll be 140,000.
Yeah.
140,000.
From the sounds of it, you can't have 140,000 people there.
Can you imagine 140,000 beer can enthusiasts who happen to rock up all at the same time on this 9-acre island?
I know, it's got to be one of those like timeshare. You know how people say those timeshare that you're only allowed there once a week, and that you share it with a bunch of other people, and then you share it, but then you can actually rent it, but you can't rent it at a certain point, and you have to pay body corporate every year. That's what it sounds like.
I'll tell you what, $1,000 is a lot of money, but if you're short on talking points and you want a bragging right, This is pretty good.
Yes.
I mean, if you had a certificate on the wall saying, I'm a part owner of Beer Can Island.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not bad.
Well,
so.
I thought I'd do that before I went to Scotland because I did a tour of Edinburgh Fringe. There you go, a little bit of a segue. And I had myself made a lord. You know, I brought a little plot of land. I became a lord. I went over there, and that was the first thing I told to a bunch of people at the pub.
Have you fenced your little plot of land over there?
No, it's just it's basically a lord.
A square foot of land.
Yep. Anyway, I took it over there, and I was like in the pub for about 30 minutes, and I said it to a bunch of locals, and they beat me mercilessly. So it turns out they don't respect the lords over there, especially when they cry like little girls and stuff. All they just kept saying was,
Cry for me now, Lordy.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Oh, Miss Money Penny, welcome to the Rock. The Rock is my hand. But,
right. Because I've seen that stuff online and advertised on telly and that where they have you get the plot of land, one square foot of land, and you become a lord or a lady. And I'm thinking to myself, surely that must run out of land after a while. I mean, where are all these plots? Do you get like a lat long? You know?
Oh no, it's actually there's no actual.
I don't think there is
whatsoever. It's just a kind of novelty thing.
It's a novelty. Yeah, I don't think there's actually any land they've sold you. There's no discernible plot of land, no piece of sod that you can go and visit.
Yeah.
You know,
that's one thing that I did learn going over to Scotland is one, don't ever call yourself a lord to a bunch of guys who have massive upper body strength. And number two, do not pour Coke into a scotch. All
right. Rounding out the news this week, now, we'd like to go on to a bit of dodgy fake news, I think, because I see a lot of weird clickbait, and the clickbait I've been seeing this week, with the fake news, is Larry Emder's media career is over.
Oh.
Now, I actually like Larry Emder. I don't mind him. And
Price is Right.
Price is Right. According to Wikipedia, he's hosted Celebrity Splash, Price is Right from 1993 to 1998, and from 2003 and 2005. And then also on the 7 Network. He's also known for Cash Bonanza, Wheel of Fortune. He's hosted Hey Hey It's Saturday 5 times, once in 94, twice in 98, and then in 1999 as well. So, and I think he's at the moment doing
The Chase.
The morning show.
Yes.
The morning show.
Good Morning Australia.
And The Chase, yes, you're right. He's on The Chase too. So, I think his media career is pretty safe. The clickbait is, it's obviously just clickbait. So don't get taken in by the clickbait.
Yes.
And I'll take this moment to note that when I was at uni, we had a mate of mine that was very, very talkative and very, very well groomed, and always had the cheesiest grin I've ever seen in my life. And we quickly nicknamed him Larry Emder. And so his name's Nathan. I'm trying to remember his surname. If you're listening, Nathan, shout out to you, mate. We miss you, Larry.
Never met you before, Nathan, but I miss you, bro.
All right. I think we'll go to a quick song, and this is Elvis Presley with Bossa Nova.
Nice.
All right.
Yes.
That was the news and a bit of Elvis, and of course our community service announcements. So
now, for those just tuning in, please know that you're listening to The Dose, and this is not Mick, the host's choice of music.
Is that your disclaimer tonight?
That is my disclaimer. Yes.
Right. This is Stef. If you're just tuning in to The Dose here at 88.3 Southern FM. I do have got control of the music list tonight because Mick, you came in literally with a few minutes to spare.
There was at least 5 minutes to spare.
Right. Is the car, the motor overheating? Get yourself over here that quick.
No. I took the time. I actually moseyed and that, but I just was like, so I'm thinking, this is kind of cool. I'm just going to chill now and that. I looked at the time. It's like, hang on, I think I'm supposed to be at the studio. Oh man, I'm the worst co-host ever. I mean, obviously the best looking co-host, but the worst co-host ever.
Well, one of the good things about having two hosts of a radio show is at least one of us is going to be here.
Yes.
So, there we go.
Yeah.
All right. Obscure Sports is our segment.
Nice.
So, did you ever engage in any strange sports as a kid?
I did, obviously. Well, I wouldn't call it a sport. And I tried every sport to try and find the one that I liked and that. So there isn't a sport out there I haven't really given a shot to. I mean, obviously the obscure ones and stuff like that. But I've done the cow dung kickoff. That was pretty good. Also did Hunt the Homeless Person, where basically they...
That sounds a bit brutal.
Well, no, I was sitting down one day in that because the way I dressed was a little bit shabby. So these are rich...
Oh, you were the subject of that?
Yeah, the rich millionaires paid me money, and that basically they would hunt me for sport and stuff. And here I am.
All right, you
Yes.
got away.
Turn the tables. Actually, no, I think that was a movie called Surviving the Game, which is a great film. But yeah.
Rightio.
Cool.
All right. In Obscure Sports, we aim to bring you some weird and obscure sports each week until we run out, I guess.
Yeah.
So this week's we've got outhouse racing. So I'll go into this. Outhouse racing is exactly what it sounds like. An
Crap.
outhouse, outdoor toilet, is kitted with wheels, brakes, and a steering. I'm glad they say brakes.
Yeah.
And a steering system. There's race down hills with competitors sitting on the toilet seat inside. Competitors decorate their outhouses with clever names like Royal Flush, and the first outhouse to make it across the finish line wins.
Yeah.
Now I've checked it out online, and it's very popular in North America. And possibly one of the greatest homes of outhouse racing in North America is in Anchorage, Alaska.
Yeah.
Where since 2006 teams have descended upon downtown Anchorage to compete in an annual race hosted by the University of Alaska Architecture and Engineering Club.
Oh.
Now I might just veer off a little here and just mention that I studied engineering at uni, and
Yes.
this is exactly the sort of thing an engineering club would come up with.
Really?
And I'll clarify a little more once we get to the end of this. Anyway, similar races exist around the world, but this one is considered the world's largest, and was started by the school as a fundraiser. Every team pays $100 to compete. So it's they win various prizes and so forth, and
Toilet paper?
toilet paper.
Yeah.
So it's
3-ply or...
well, I guess I wonder if they had more entrants in this during COVID.
Oh, yes.
Because everyone was competing for dunny paper back then.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe they did. Anyway, not to be outdone, because Australians, we love our dunnies.
Yes.
So Australians have two major dunny festivals.
Nice.
Now we just had the community service there for the Winton Raceway in Victoria, but Winton, Queensland, has an Outback Festival every 2 years. The last one was held in 2023, where they have a fastest dunny competition.
Oh.
That's right, the Australian Dunny Derby. As teams of 5 race past Derby obstacles to claim a golden porcelain bowl.
Yeah, wow.
So the famous Dunny Derby is Australia's quirkiest event, according to the Winton, Queensland promoters, run in partnership with a primary health network in Western Queensland. And the Queensland Department of Health and National Bowel Cancer Screening Program. So, of course, there's some good health partnerships there.
Well, I got to say, though, because it's held in Queensland.
Yes.
Does Victoria have a team?
I wonder. But in 2023, the results were the winners, official winners of the Derby were Wilderpiss Wanderers.
Yeah.
The ladies' winners were Swan Leak.
Yeah.
And the Constipation Stakes winners were Shipwrecked.
Nice.
So apparently it's a 200-metre course, Le Mans style, with jockeys racing to their thunderbox before a team, 2 pushing and 2 pulling, takes off. So that's your 5-person team.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to say it right here on air. Melbourne, we got to get on this, especially people from Werribee. All right, you got to get in there, guys. You got to represent the Melbourne.
All right, and the best presented award for the Derby in 2023 was Strictly Bathroom.
Nice.
There we go. Now, not to be outdone, the Sunshine Coast Chili Festival also has a famous dunny race.
Oh, I can imagine, actually. As soon as you said chili race, I'm like, hey, that's a segue.
Chili Festival has a dunny race.
Yes, yeah.
Right, and they call it the Great Australian Dunny Race. That happened in March 2023 last year. I don't know if they're doing one this year. So,
well, if they are, Werribee. Get on it.
All right, there we are. So if you've got a chili festival, there's something to incorporate.
Yeah.
Now, the reason I mentioned the engineering club earlier on is because it reminds me of... so engineering clubs seem to have a reputation for this sort of behaviour.
Yeah.
And I remember quite distinctly some time ago, there was an article in the West Australian where an off-duty policeman had encountered a bunch of students at a licensed premises who were very intoxicated, and some of them were even carrying around bags of like a glutinous mixture. Turns out these students were on a pub crawl, And the deal was, if you chucked, you had to chuck in the plastic bag and tie it to your wrist and carry it around the rest of the night.
Oh.
And when the off-duty policeman encountered this at his local, obviously he wrote up the publican for it. Anyway, publican gets to the judge there at the magistrate's court or whatever court was dealing with it over there in Perth, and the judge questioned him, saying, well, "Why did you allow this to happen?" And he goes, "Oh, it was a booking. It was the law society from the local uni." He goes, "It's not like they were an engineering club."
Oh, wow.
That was his actual defence. It's not like they're engineers.
Yeah.
So,
okay, cool. Well, there you go.
So it's okay if they're lawyers, apparently. They
Yeah,
get away
lawyers,
with
yeah, absolutely.
Lawyers can get away with everything.
Yeah.
All right.
Wow. That does actually sound like something. I don't know. I did not actually see engineering club being like the Wild Childs.
They are. I mean, you've because it's just blokes. It's 99% blokes. It's there's probably a smattering of ladies. I mean, it's been a while since I've been to uni, so I do hope that more ladies are making their way into STEM. But when I went there, it was I think 90 guys and maybe 3 or 4 girls. So,
Okay.
Not that we made the girls feel uncomfortable. We're all gentlemen, but it was there was a huge disparity.
Yeah.
So it is what it is.
Yeah.
Anyway, part of the reason we played Elvis beforehand with Bossa Nova is because there's the other obscure sport I want to talk to you about tonight, Bossa Ball.
Okay.
Bossa Ball. Now, it is a game that's played on a bouncy castle.
Absolutely.
With trampolines.
Okay.
A netball, a volleyball net.
Yeah.
And you basically, it's like volleyball with trampolines and bouncy castle, and it's called Bossa Ball.
Dude, you had me at bouncy castle. That's one thing I love is a bouncy castle, and that's the thing. When you get past the age of 30 and you go running on the bouncy castle, and everyone's just like, Mick, it's for the kids.
This is for you, mate, because as you say, we can't. Once you pass the age of 30, once you pass the age of 20, it's you're being booted off that bouncy castle at the fair.
Yeah, I was going to say it. My nephew's birthday and stuff like that. But, you pile drive one kid, you know what I mean? You show him some wrestling moves and all of a sudden, he broke his arm, but hey, he's got 2 of them. But yeah.
There you go. So this is your chance to get back on the bouncy castle.
Oh, yeah.
It was showcased at the Rio Olympics in 2016, sorry, to get my years right. So it's played on beaches, and they actually had an international tournament. So at that time, I think... I'm
quite interesting though that they actually they're trying to get it as an Olympic sport.
I think they are, but there's only 8 countries in the world play it. One of them being Argentina.
The other one, Werribee,
possibly.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, my printout here, some of the images with the results from that competition didn't come through. However. This could be if you're looking to revive an obscure sport. This could be your opportunity, because the last recorded international competition was in 2016.
Yeah.
They were supposed to hold another one in Qatar alongside the FIFA World Cup in 2022. But there's all talk on the international governing body, Bossa Ball International, on their webpage. There's talk about it, but there's no update as to what the results were. So we're not sure if it actually occurred or not.
Yeah. And they've probably got hundreds of dollars at stake at this.
Here we go. I've got just reading further into the details. 2 sides of the court, has a trampoline, basically volleyball on trampolines, but you have to play soccer as well, says the coach of the Dutch Bossa Ball team.
Okay.
It has a loyal following in Europe and South America. It includes, they have teams from Colombia, Brazil, Argentina, Belgium and Holland.
Oh, okay.
Developed between 2003 and 2005 by Belgian Philippe Eijkmans, who was living in Spain at the time, and it was inspired by Brazilian music and culture.
Okay.
So,
well, it sounds interesting.
You could be bossa balling.
Yes.
So,
well, they actually. Did you know though? They actually have dodgeball leagues nowadays.
I thought that was just a movie.
No. Dodgeball. They actually have a dodgeball league. It's a great way to meet people.
Dodgeball league.
Yeah.
I'd have to give that a go, I reckon. I wouldn't mind.
Obviously once we'll just, play it like a kid's birthday and that. We'll go along. We'll absolutely destroy them, us two against a bunch of little
Oh, taking on kids.
Yeah, taking on kids.
Yeah, that sounds like a great manly idea.
Fulfill our masculine urges to kill and win. So, yeah, that's the...
To go and beat some kids. Beat some people with our own sporting ability.
Yeah.
So, Anyway, I used to play. I guess it took just to round out our obscure sports. I used to play British Bulldogs. Did you play that at school?
Yes, I did play that indeed. Yeah, was it when you're an engineer though?
No, it was before that. So it was when I was still a kid, and it's possibly the only sport I was good at because I'm very unco and good. Can't catch or throw balls very well. Can't hit them very well. In fact, anything that requires hand-eye coordination, I'm pretty useless at.
Yeah.
So, but running into other kids. Fantastic.
Done.
Done. I can just aim for another kid because they're bigger than the ball, and I'm just like, oh yeah, I can aim for that.
Yeah.
So
nice.
Indeed.
So we have it here. We obviously have royalty in the British Bulldog winner of 2000 and.
No, we're talking 1980s.
80s. There you go.
Yeah,
cool.
my childhood was a long time ago.
Beautiful.
All right. Speaking of a long way away, we've got Hoota Gurus with 1,000 Miles Away.
88.3 Southern FM.
And you're with The Dose on 88.3 Southern FM.
Yes, you got Mick.
And Stef, of course.
Yes.
If you've just tuned in. All right there. What gets your goat, Mick?
What?
I want to know all about what gets your goat.
Well, there's one thing in particular. It's been happening a lot lately, and it's actually gotten me to the point where I'm actually cutting people off completely.
Like, man, in the traffic?
No, like people in general, like friends and all that stuff. I'm kind of done with it all.
Right.
And that is half-assed texting. Now, anyone can text. All right, I'm down with you if you want to text. Text away, man. You know what I mean? Sometimes people just text to check in and stuff like that. But I have a certain group of people who will text me, hey, man, how are you? How you been? I'm like, oh, yeah, not too bad. How about yourself? 4 hours or 4 to a day later, they message back, yeah, not bad. And by that time, I've had about 10 other text conversations. I'm like, yeah, not bad. What do you do? Oh, I have to go back and re-scroll. And that my biggest thing is...
What do you mean? So, hang on, you re-scroll... So, they've come into a group conversation?
No, they're just like, they just texted me in that. So, for instance, I know 5 guys called Phil. Phil A has messaged me and said, hey, man, how you been? So, I've messaged Phil A back and said, yeah, not too bad, yourself.
Right.
Phil A has forgotten about me, all right?
Okay.
And then the next day, he'll message me back.
Phil's not worried about your feelings.
Yeah, not bad yourself and that. But in that time, Phil B, Phil C, Phil D, and Phil E have all messaged me different things. They could be work Phils, they could be normal Phils, they could be just Phils who fill in the time.
It's rather convenient how all your Phils are in alphabetical order.
Yeah, but it's just like, and by that time, I'm like, well, hang on, which Phil, what's he referring to? That kind of Phil. So now I have to scroll back and see what the conversation was. It's one of those things. It's like, don't text me if you don't want to talk. All right, I get it. People get busy and stuff. People get distracted. Make the time, or at least call me. You know what I mean?
Maybe that's the issue. Maybe they should just call.
Yeah. And that's the thing, though. Those that do call, I'm always happy for a chat. I'm always happy to, have a little banter and shoot the
So we'll say to all the Phils out there, just give Mick a call.
Yeah, seriously, because fill me in on it all, But no, those people there, it's basically, that is my thing. And it does happen quite a bit. And it kind of harkens back to the whole... dating apps, because they're pretty bad on that as well.
Are your mates on the dating apps quite heavily?
Huh?
Are your mates like Phil and so forth on the dating apps quite a bit?
No one is. Well, maybe they are. You know what I mean? They set off.
Or do you think that's a side effect from
It's a side effect of it. People just don't want to talk or communicate anymore. They think that by saying, hey, how you doing, is actually some form of communication. And then when you kind of say to them, hey, man, I haven't heard from you in like a month, it's like, I said, hey, how you doing, like a week ago. And it's like, yeah, but you didn't respond.
I am guilty of not responding or getting back to people late, I must admit. But because I'm generally running around causing mayhem, on the dose. On
the dose, yes.
And other gigs and so forth.
Yeah. But it is also the thing that kind of gets that as well, is it end the conversation. It's like, hey, man, you're really busy. I'll text you later.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah, get to you later. Yeah, busy now. Yeah, okay.
And that, because I'll have another one where I'll be
text etiquette,
a full conversation with someone and stuff like that. You know what I mean? It will be deep, it will be meaningful, and all that stuff. And all of a sudden, it just
over
ends.
Text.
Yeah, you would just, it's like trying to plan out something for the weekend. That, what are you doing? What are you up to? What are we going to be doing? Okay, we're going to be doing this. Yeah, I'll let you know. Okay, cool. Has everything been going well in your life? Yeah, it has. How about you? Boom, 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 boom. And then before you know it, bickety bam. It's like, okay, are we done? Am I supposed to finish? And 9 times out of 10, they leave me on a cliffhanger. You know what I mean? It's like, how you been? really horrible, had something really horrible happen. It's like, oh man, what? Please, here, I'm here to talk.
They want
to
hang
you.
They want you to hang about for the next episode.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Well, when is our next episode? I do believe it's every Tuesday.
Every Tuesday, 7
from
p.m.
7 to
Why? Thanks
8.
for asking, Mick.
Yes, that's what I do. See that segue, but yeah,
Nice.
that's the thing. I think that's a kind of disintegration of society. Is the fact that people don't even have basic, if you don't, people are time poor. I get that.
But we are increasingly time poor. But do make time to get back to your mates, particularly Phil.
Yeah, Phil.
Yeah.
If you are listening to this, Phil A, B, C, D. Well, no, Phil D's pretty cool. But yeah, the rest of the Phils, I'm gunning for you, man.
All right.
Yeah. So that's my rant. That's people who annoy me.
Okay, that's a fair rant.
Don't text me. I hate texting already because I misread so many texts already. But yes. And I think I'm going to take up the rest of the show by talking about this, so I'm not going to now. I'm going to actually just say, don't text, call.
That's cool.
Be a human.
All right. I'll quickly go through my rant, or my goat.
Mm-hmm.
So this is actually a segment for those who are paying attention, things that get our goats. So my goat is free-to-air TV. Now, where I'm going with this is free-to-air TV apparently has been they've been trying out some competitions. Apparently, I think it was Channel 7 are now launching some competitions in a similar way to the radios do competitions.
Okay.
So they're trying to get more listeners, more viewers.
Okay.
And I'm thinking to myself, well, why are they doing this? Why do they have to resort to these tactics to get more viewers?
Yeah.
And so increasingly, people are turning off free-to-air and they're going to things like Netflix and Stan and so forth. Mm-hmm. And why are they doing that? Because reality TV is dominating free-to-air. That's why.
Yeah.
Okay. I remember when free-to-air used to have regular shows. Now all they do is round up some over-tattooed twats from the roadside and get them to do one of four things: sing, cook, renovate, or cohabitate.
Yes.
Singing shows, we get it. Australia's got no talent. We know this because if we did have any talent in this country, we wouldn't have to bring in judges from other countries to figure out if we've got any talent. Right?
Yes.
Case closed. No talent.
Oh, he's getting fired up now.
I am getting fired up.
I love it when
cooking shows,
angry, yeah.
tiny skerricks of crap on plates the size of bus steering wheels with more sauce than the actual food on the plate. Mm-hmm. Drives me nuts because I'm thinking, you serve this up at a restaurant, one morsel, that's it. You're sitting there going, I'm hungry now. Where's the rest of it? I'm like, no dessert's coming in an hour and a half later. Mm-hmm. Right? Renovating shows. I remember when renovating shows showed you how to renovate. Right? Mm. Now they just show retards screaming at each other and other contestants that they've run out of money because the kitchen has been designed to have more ovens and cupboards, the butler's pantry has its own home cinema, and the transparent bathtub got painted by mistake.
Oh, my God. Okay. So... You are getting fired up, man. But that's the thing as well, and this actually happened because I got a lot of friends who are tradies, and they said because the reality TV shows were showing them that, hey, we can do it in this episode, which is an hour long. Oh, well, I can get a full renovation done on my house in a week. It's like, no, it doesn't kind of work like that. You've got to get permits thing. There's all these different people that have to work on it. It's like, well, why can't you just get like a...
Why can't you put 8 ovens in the one kitchen?
Yeah, why can't you get your team together and do it, you know what I mean? Be a blockhead. So yeah.
So for those TV execs out there in TV land, if you're wondering why people aren't watching you anymore, just do what Netflix and Stan are doing. Produce some shows. I watched I'm trying to think of the name of the show. Population 11. I watched that on Netflix.
Stan?
Oh, Stan. Sorry.
Yep.
Yeah, that was fantastic show. Some great Aussie actors, some overseas actors in there.
Yeah.
Great show. And there's loads of other shows being produced by Netflix and Stan and so forth that are they're quite riveting. Another one that I watched recently, The Gentleman.
Yeah, I love that show.
So it's obviously it's a spin-off from the movie, but it's not. There's not a direct correlation. It's a completely new universe.
Yeah.
Great show. 8 episodes out now.
Yeah.
Tulsa King is another great one.
Yeah.
So I think people just want traditional old, dramas, comedies, that sort of thing. Just that's what you got to do.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I absolutely agree. And the thing that does annoy me, I'm going to go off on the reality TV show. It should not actually be anything to do with whether or not they've got talent. It's all what kind of Betsy Bleeding Heart story you have. And that's just not reality to me.
No, it isn't. All right, I think we're coming to the end of the dose. So we're down to our last couple of minutes. So what we're going to do is leave you with a lovely song about reminding you how to be safe out there in the world.
Yes.
The Safety Dance.
Oh.
All right, so that's it from Stef.
And Mick.
All right, till next week, 7 p.m.